Good morning. We are going to talk about all the changes that Egosoft did to the fleets. The new fleet commands, the changes how fleets behave, and what you can do now with them. And I have written down 11 different things out of the patch notes from version 6.0 that we're going to talk about right now. First thing that I want to talk about is a new feature called Position Defense for carrier-led fleets. And therefore, I have already assembled a fleet which is led by a carrier. Here we got a fleet of a Raptor, and that Raptor is going to defend the jump gate to the Xenon sectors. How that works is you need to have a fleet that is led by a carrier, and then you can right click on your fleet and start the position defense. When you click that, you will see these things here: alpha group, a beta group, position defense. We have a beta group which does position defense, but we don't want that for the beta group, so we remove that from the position defense. That's one thing that you need to do. At the moment, every single group is assigned to the position defense. If you don't want that, you need to take this group out of the position defense. Then you click into the alpha group, and you can actually just simply drag and drop this thing wherever you want to. I want the position defense right in front of that gate. What now happens is all these fighters in group alpha are going to fly around this position. At the moment, right around 20 kilometers around that position. And what the really cool thing about this new position defense is that you can not only have a few different groups assigned to a few different spots led by the same carrier, also your fighters are going to repair and restock automatically when something happens. When there is a Xenon coming in and the fighters are going to take out the Xenon and some of them get damaged, they automatically come back to the carrier, repair, and go back to the position they need to defend. As you see right now, they are scattering around that position, and the moment a Xenon comes into that range, they do get the same order as when they would do attack targets in range. And here you can see the range. The range is about 20 kilometers. At the moment, it is not adjustable. Maybe they will change that in the near future with a new beta. I think for version 6.0 this should work with an adjustable radius too. And one more cool thing about this position defense is that your carrier does not need to have, or you don't need to supply only that many ships that can land on your carrier, because your carrier is like a moving station where the ships only land at and then go back to the place where they are fighting. So if you have a carrier that has got 21 landing spots, that only means that it can supply at the same time 21 ships, but these ships will also leave immediately when they are done, and then you have another 21 spots open. So you can have hundreds of fighters assigned to a single carrier, because they will go back to your carrier, get repairs, and then will go back into the battlefield. Okay, here we go. That was the first P. The P destroyed a little bit of that Chimera. As you see, the Chimera has got the repair order. The Chimera will fly back to one of those ships. It decided to go to the monitor. It is repaired, and it will come back to the battlefield, defend the position again, completely repaired. Off to the next feature called Jolt Physics Engine. Why am I talking about the physics engine when we're talking about fleet commands? Because this would have not, especially this here, this would have not been possible with the older physics engine, because the ships did have like something like a bubble around them where they always tried to get away from each other so that they are not hitting each other and they're not clipping into each other. And now with the Jolt Physics engine, these ships do have better collision detection, and they actually can go really close to each other without triggering a collision, because they just know that they have this room, or they know that there is like room in between and they're not colliding to each other. And that way the fleets can stick together way closer. This was not possible before. These ships would try to scatter, like they would try to get away from each other, and that's not going to happen anymore. And this way you can finally have like really tight formations in your fleet, and they actually sticking together. One more thing that I can show you exactly here is that you can now give your fleet another logo. I know this is just a gimmick, but this is so cool that you can now have, let's say, a trader fleet, and you can just simply put like a, I don't know, take your parcel service of your choice, UPS, DHL, FedEx or whatever, and put a logo on there. Who cares? This is now your trading fleet. And if you want to know how to put these logos into your game, it's really easy. You go to Documents on your PC, you go to Egosoft, you go to X4, random number, or you will not have this folder logos in there. So you just simply create a new folder, call this logos, and put your own logo inside. And that way you can also give your fleet a custom logo. How about that? There's my logo. That's how easy it was. Something that I will only very briefly talk about is the new added bombardment assignment for subordinates. They are about maybe to change this in the future, so it maybe if when you see this video a little bit later, it can have a different name. At the moment it is called Bombardment, which is just simply proactively attacking L and XL ships in the vicinity of that ship. If a Xenon K or a Xenon I or whatever faction you're just fighting at is entering the vicinity of the ship, you have a bombardment assignment on. Your ships, your fighters or whatever you set in this group, it can also have destroyers or whatever, they are only going to fight L and XL ships. One new thing that they improved, the combat behavior of ships in fleet with carrier or fleet auxiliary ships. This fleet went through a sector where it got hit with some Xenon. The ships actually took off, all of them took off, and were fighting to defend this carrier. The carrier is also improved. In the changelog it says improved carrier behavior in combat if all fighter subordinates are on detached assignment. What that means is, I have seen that it will stay away from the fight, it will stay a little bit further away, and will lead the fighters into the fight so that they are actually engaging into this here. As you see, improved fighter combat movement against large targets is also a thing. Fighters will not get so easily shut down anymore against big targets because they will go in range, attack the target, get out of range, which you already actually know from Xenon. When they are fighting you, they are also going out of range and then come back and attack you again. That way they do not have, or they try to not have, that many casualties. By the way, just as a side note, while watching these fights happen, I really enjoy now taking a carrier with fighters, and I think you will see this a lot more in the future in my videos, that I will take a carrier, blast a lot of fighters into that carrier, and then just have that thing take out everything that's coming into the vicinity. It does make fun. It's actually working good, and oh my god, it looks fantastic. Version 6.0 just looks fantastic and works fantastic. 70 frames per second. I haven't changed anything in the graphic settings, so actually even higher resolution at the moment, 1440p, and it's faster than 1080p before the update, just as a side note. Now welcome into the Xenon sector. We are in Atia's Misfortune, and we're going to fight this Xenon defense platform, where I will go Tokyo, I say attack, and then I say attack all turrets. This is an added command to order ships to attack surface elements on designated target. They will actually get out and start attacking with us. As you see, they're now taking off. We're going to take a look what they are doing. We're going to the Xenon station, and we're going to see how they are going for the turrets. As you see, the first shots against the turrets, they're boosting out so that they're not going to get shot. This is the new behavior, how the small ships are going to fight and going to try to get this target down. The only thing that we now would need to have is a little bit better weapons to do this. So this works. This works also against capital ships, but it does not work against small or medium ships because they do not have surface elements. As you see, as I said, the carrier is not engaging into the fight because it has got a lot of ships that are actually engaged into the fight. So the carrier will stay out of it. What I would like to see, one more improvement, is right here visible. This ship here is a little bit destroyed, and I would like to see this a little bit destroyed ship now actually go back and repair itself after it hit about 50% hull. That will be one thing that I could see as an improvement. So we talked about the position defense, we talked about the jolt physics engines, bombardment, the surface elements. We have seen the possibility to override faction logos. We've seen improved fighter combat, at least it is improved. It works way better than before. Improved coordination within fleets. This is one thing that I can show you right now. Improved combat behavior of ships in fleet with carriers, improved carrier behavior in combat. If all fighter subordinates are on detached assignment, the carriers will not just simply fly into and will try to use their guns too. No, they're staying away because they actually know what's going on. As a last thing, a look at improved coordination within fleets during attack, and take a group out of 5 synths. So what I just did is I set these ships all to semicircle as a formation. I sent them closer to the station. As you see, they're trying to stick together. The only reason why they're not sticking together at the moment is because one of those ships gets attacked while the others are already into travel drive. But they are sticking together really well. They are now defending each other against these Xenon forces. And after that, we're going to go and attack the station just with a simple attack command from the commander and nothing else. So what I'm going to do now is just simply put an attack command on that station, nothing else. And what is going to happen? It is a small station, I know, but I haven't done anything else than just simply sending them to attack. Here we have the first shots without jumping into the station too much. They are defending each other. Great. They're actually hitting the station. And now that we have the jolt physics engine, like I told you before, they are not trying to get away from each other, which was causing a lot of troubles. I don't know if you're aware of that, but check that out in version 5.1. It caused a lot of troubles for them to stick around. Like, for example, these two ships here, these two would try to get away from each other and not focus on going into the fight with that station. Now they just simply don't care. They're close to each other. They don't mind. They're going into better positions at the moment where they possibly can shoot better. Fighting that station even from afar. At the moment, we're like, how far away? We're 8 kilometers away from the station, which is fantastic. If you remember, the Xenon turrets do have a range of 5.6 kilometers. We are 2 kilometers away from the range. Fantastic. And you see that all of the ships are even using their forward-facing guns. They're moving into better positions. They're staying out of range. And they are giving this station hell, and it's gone. That was it. I simply talked you through the process. It's just so much better now that they're sticking together. I know I emphasized that way too much, but I really love the change with the physics engine. If you liked what you saw, leave a comment. Tell me about your experiences with 6.0. I also have a video about all the changes in 6.0, which you can see at the moment on the right side. And we'll see us on twitch.tv/Captain Collins if you want to see me live. Look, did you see that? How close they can go together, and they're actually hitting each other. This is not some artificial stuff, but they're actually hitting each other. Did you see that? So see you next time. Goodbye.